members, we're ready to go. If you could please give me 3 seconds. I'm going to start the recording.
Okay.
And then I'm going to start the webinar.
Okay.
And then you'll be able to go live. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Recording in progress.
Okay, Madam City Clerk, are we ready to go now for public?
Mayor. Yes. Yes, Madam.
All
Mayor.
right.
Go ahead.
Good evening. I'm Barbara Halliday, Mayor of the City of Hayward. I'm going to call this first. I'm going to call to order tonight's meeting of the Hayward Geologic Hazard Abatement District Board of Directors. And we are going to start this evening with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I will lead that if you will join me. And I do have I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we are conducting this meeting this evening. The meeting of the Geologic Hazard Abatement District Board will be followed by the regular City Council meeting. And we are conducting this in a hybrid way. So we have some of our members in the council chambers and actually we have one member in the council chambers, and that is Mayor Pro Tem Lamnen. The rest of us are attending from home this evening. But in any event, for helping me to identify public comments from people who may be attending in person, Mayor Pro Tem Lamnen will be assisting me in that. So with that, I'm going to ask Ms. Morrison, who I believe is here on behalf of the GAD district, to call the roll of the GAD board members. Ms. Morrison?
Yes. Okay. Let's see. Board member Zermano.
Here.
Thank you. Board member Wahab.
Here.
Board member Lamnen.
Here.
Board member Andrews.
Here.
Board Chair Halliday.
Here.
Okay. And I apologize. I think I may be missing.
You did. I think did you miss board member Salinas?
And Marquez.
Right. And Marquez. Yeah.
Board member Salinas.
Yeah. Here.
Thank you. And finally, board member Marquez.
Present. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Before we proceed with the business of this meeting, which will start with public comments on the GAD items only, public comments on GAD items other than the ones on the agenda this evening, I have something I would like to ask that we observe a moment of silence this evening in honor of Sophia Mason, a child, an 8-year-old child whose disappearance and presumed death is a tragedy felt deeply by every member of the Hayward community where Sophia lived. And I want to express my support for her family during this tragic and heartbreaking time. And so I would ask that everyone please join me in a moment of silence now. Thank you. And let's keep Sophia's family in our thoughts and prayers. So with that, we will now move on to public comments for the Geologic Hazard Abatement District Board meeting. And this would be anyone's opportunity.
Councilmember Andrews has her hand up. I'm not sure if she wanted to add a comment.
Oh, I'm sorry, didn't see that.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I had my hand up. Thank you, Councilmember Marquez.
Go ahead, Councilmember Andrews. Sorry.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for saying her name. It's really important that we acknowledge her name, and I just want to thank Lynn Lennon, Vanessa Russell, and Reverend Wanda Johnson on NAACP for guiding us and the city on acknowledging her today. And I just encourage everyone to check in on each other, but also consider making a donation to Ruby's Place, Love Never Fails, and Girls Inc. in her memory. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Andrews, and thank you for actually requesting that we do this in Sophia Mason's honor this evening. This is something that I think has affected all of us in Hayward, and just as a reminder that we need to protect and safeguard our children. So with that, now we are going to move on to public comments on GAD items that are not otherwise on items not on tonight's GAD agenda. So Ms. Morrison, or are you aware? I'm not seeing any hands raised among attendees. Is there anyone who would like to make a public comment on a GAD item not otherwise on this agenda this evening? I am seeing one now. Christina Avila. Can we get her on, or do we have our city clerk?
Hi, everyone. Good evening. This is Christina Avila. I am a resident of Hayward. I live at 439 Custer Road, and I come to you today because I would like to request, or I would like for you guys to think about placing street bumps on Custer Road as well as Sabler. And if we may please look into having street lights or stop signs on Whitman. I am a daycare provider. I currently take care of 9 children. And during the summertime, we like to go to the park and we like to go to the garden. And I'm afraid that one of these days we're gonna get hit by a car. Just last week on Tuesday at 5:07 p.m., a car was driving through Custer Road so fast that it landed on my neighbor's car. If that car would have not been at the corner, it would have gone straight into my home, killing either my son, my daughter, my husband, myself, or all the children in my daycare. Something needs to be addressed. Something needs to be done. So today I come to you as a mother, and as you said, Mayor, and I'm going to quote you, the protection and the safeguard of our children are very important. So today I come to you all requesting that you help me do just that for the children that I care for and I love so much, and for the kids in my community. If there's anything I need to do, or if I can, address it with someone else, please direct me. But I know that you have it in your hands. It is within your power to make this happen. I've been asking the city to look into this for the past 4 years, and nothing has been done. So today I come to you and I ask that you please help me take care of this matter. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you today. Please, I'll give you my phone number, and I can send it to Sir Manuel. I can send it to Marquez, which I've sent many messages in regards to this matter. And I would like to work with you guys to make this happen as soon as possible, as I am afraid that someone is going to get killed, as someone did 22 years ago at the corner of Custard and Stabler. So please help me for this not to happen again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You can send your number to our city clerk. Perhaps she could get it to other members of the council. I don't believe that matter had anything to do with the Geologic Hazard Abatement District. And I'm going to, we will have another public comment period during the regular council agenda for items not otherwise on our council agenda. So yes, and I see that the other speaker has put her hand down. So we will have additional public comment when we get through the Geologic Hazard Abatement Board District agenda and move on to the regular council meeting. So anyone who wants to make comments then, please wait till then and then put your hand up. So with that, seeing no other hands raised for public comments, we will close public comments for the Geologic Hazard Abatement District Board and move on to the consent calendar, which consists of one item, approval of the minutes from the meeting of January 18th.
I'll move that we adopt the minutes as presented in our staff report.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Marquez. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay. Any discussion? Don't see any hands raised, so I think it's Ms. Amora again. Are you going to perform this roll call vote?
Yes, and just before we go to a vote, I just want to make sure that there is no one who wants to comment on the consent calendar item.
Oh, yes. Yes, I'll open public comment on but I don't see any hands raised of anyone attending. Is there anyone in the council chambers who would like to comment on this? Mayor Pro Tem Lamnen?
No, there are no members of the public currently in attendance.
All right.
Okay.
So I'll close the public comment, and then on this motion made by Council Member Marquez and seconded by Council Member Andrews to approve the item 1.
Yeah, to approve the minutes of January 18th. So I will call the roll now. Board Member Zermania?
Yes.
Board Member Wahab?
Yes.
Board Member Wahab votes yes. Board Member Lamnen?
Yes.
Board Member Lamnen votes yes. Board Member Marquez, excuse me.
Okay, aye.
Great. Board Member Andrews?
Aye.
Board Member Andrews votes yes. Board Member Salinas?
Yes.
Board Member Salinas votes yes, and Chair Halliday.
Yes. And the minutes are approved with a 7 votes in favor and none opposed. Okay. Now we're going to move on to our public hearing item this evening. This is item number 2, a resolution to accept the tabulation of votes and, if allowed by the votes, confirm the assessment and order the levy and collection of the assessment for the Hayward SOMI development. And we will hear from initially from our GAD manager, or I guess, is it acting GAD manager this evening? Because, but Haley Ralston, I believe. Are you with us?
Yes, Chair Halliday, thank you. If I may remove my mask, you can hear me a little bit clearer as I provide the staff report for both items this evening. As an introduction, my name is Haley Ralston. I am a part of NGO, who is the GAD manager for the Hayward Geologic Hazard Abatement District. And as you've heard from this evening, Amara Morrison is the GAD clerk as well as the GAD attorney with Wendell Rosen. So I will jump into the staff report for resolution, or for the public hearing items for resolution 2202 and 2203. There will be 2 motions, so 2 votes for each resolution, but the staff report will cover both. Good evening, Chair and board members. Tonight before the board are resolutions 2202 and 2203, accepting the tabulation of votes to confirm the GAD assessment and ordering the levy of the GAD assessment for the Hayward SOMI development. On November 16th, 2021, the GAD board approved resolution 2103, accepting the annexation of the Hayward SOMI development into the Hayward GAD and approving the plan of control for the Hayward SOMI development. While the plan of control outlines the responsibilities of the GAD within the Hayward SOMI development, an engineer's report provides a funding source for the GAD's responsibilities within the development. At the last Hayward GAD board meeting on January 18th, 2022, the board passed resolution 2201 approving the Hayward SOMI development engineer's report to set an assessment limit of $567 per townhome unit and $454 per condominium unit in fiscal year 2021-22. The total annual budget for the Hayward SOMI portion of the GAD is $101,726. There are a total of 189 units within the Hayward SOMI development, 123 townhomes and 66 condominiums. The current property owner of the Hayward SOMI development has received proper notification of this public hearing and the GAD's intent to order an assessment. The Hayward Somi development assessment will not impact the existing assessment for the reserve or hideaway landowners within the GAD. Additionally, the Hayward GAD has a shared reserve fund among each development within the Hayward GAD, and each development's engineer's report specifies each development's contribution to the reserve fund based on their own scope of GAD responsibilities and geotechnical risk. With the annexation of the Hayward Somi development into the Hayward GAD, there will be a total of 427 units within the GAD, with 238 units currently being assessed, which make up 179 units in the reserve development and 59 units in the hideaway development. Staff recommendation is for the board to consider any and all protests against the proposed assessment with Resolution 2202, and if there is no majority protest, the GAD board may authorize the GAD assessment with Resolution 2203. Additionally, I would like to point out a minor typo in the staff report in paragraph 1 under background and discussion. In the last sentence, it says Ørsted project, but it should be the Hayward Somi development. So we'll make sure that item gets clarified before it's finalized. So that is all the report I have for these two items. Thank you.
Thank you. So are there any questions from council at this point? With that, I am going to open the public hearing on the proposed assessment. Is that the next step here? I understand.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And so I'm going to open the public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to comment on this matter of the proposed assessment of the additional GAD, the area to be annexed into the GAD, into our current geologic hazard abatement district? Opening the public hearing. I am not seeing any hands raised. Is there anyone, Mayor Pro Tem or GAD board member Lamden, in the chambers who wants to make a comment on this item?
Still no members of the public present. Thank you.
Okay, and seeing no hands raised from the attendees on line, I will go ahead and close the public hearing.
At this point, Chair Halliday, I can help out.
Thank you.
No problem. At this point in the meeting, I'm going to be wearing my GAD clerk hat in order to tabulate the vote of the property owner of the Hayward Somi development. And so I have a sealed envelope containing the ballot, which was submitted by the property owner, which I am now going to open in order to read out the vote. Bear with me for a moment while I open this. And so I do have the ballot. It has been signed by the property owner, and the property owner has voted to be assessed. And so I would now request that the board consider adoption or consider a motion to adopt Resolution 2202 to accept the tabulation of the votes and also to consider adoption of Resolution 2203, which will confirm the assessment and authorize the levy and the collection of the assessment for the Hayward Somi development.
So can that be all done as one part of one motion and one vote, or do we need to take two separate votes?
My preference is that we separate out these resolutions.
All right, so first we're going to consider the adoption of the Resolution 22-02, accepting the tabulation of votes, which we have all seen happen. Any comments, or I would be ready to entertain a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by GAD board member Salinas and seconded by GAD board member Marquez.
Okay. Thank
any
you.
discussion? I'm not seeing any hands raised to discuss, so I think we can go ahead and do a roll call vote on that motion.
Okay, very good. Board member Zarmeno?
Yes.
Thank you, Board member Zarmeno votes yes. Board member Wahab?
Yes.
Board member Wahab is a yes vote. Board member Lamden?
Aye.
Board member Lamden is a yes vote. Board member Andrews?
Aye.
Board Member Andrews is a yes vote. Board Member Salinas?
Yes.
Board Member Salinas is a yes vote. Board Member Marquez?
Aye.
Board Member Marquez is a yes vote, and Chair Halliday.
Yes. And the
Thank you.
motion passes with 7 aye votes and no votes. So now we are going to move on to Resolution 2203. 2203, yes.
Mayor, I'll move that we adopt resolution number 22-03.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? Are there any members of the public who wish to comment on this item? Seeing no one, I'm going to close public comment. And on the motion by Board Member Marquez, seconded by Board Member Salinas.
All right, I'll call for the roll call vote. Board Member Zermania?
Yes.
Thank you. Board Member Zermania votes yes. Board Member Wahab?
Yes.
Wahab is yes. Board Member Lamnon?
Yes.
Lamnon is a yes vote. Board Member Andrews?
Aye.
Andrews is a yes vote. Board Member Marquez?
Aye.
Marquez is a yes vote. Board Member Salinas?
Yes.
Salinas is a yes vote. And Chair Halliday?
Yes. And the motion carries with 7 aye votes. All right. And then we have finished our finished what we needed to do on this addition to the GAD. So we can now move on to a report from our GAD manager this evening.
Thank you, Chair Halliday. Yes, with this completion of the annexation, this development will now be officially annexed into the GAD. We will work with the property owner to record the notice of assessment and assessment diagram with the county within 20 days after this meeting. So everything will be finalized for this annexation. As far as further GAD manager updates, currently the GAD only has ownership and maintenance responsibilities for most of the open space parcels within the reserve development. These areas have performed well this past winter and we will be preparing for spring weed abatement soon. The Hideaway development will be eligible for transfer of plan and control responsibilities from the developer to the GAD in December 2023. So, and then additionally, with conditions of approvals for other developments within the Hayward GAD, we expect that there will be a couple more annexations possibly coming later this year for the Hayward GAD. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions about that report? I will note that in the minutes that we approved earlier, Board Member Marquez, I believe, had asked for a tally of units and projected future units. I think you kind of covered that without using actual numbers, but Councilmember Marquez, did you have any additional questions about that?
I think it was covered in the public hearing we had, but just for future reference, if we're not having a public hearing, if that could just be reported out when we do meet in terms of what the current numbers are, I'd appreciate it. And then I do have one question, Mayor, if I can.
Sure, go ahead.
A while back, we had approved a newsletter to go out to all residents living within the GAD. I just wanted to clarify, I'm sure this was shared, but I do not recall, how often is that newsletter going to be issued?
Sure, thank you, Board Member Marquez, for your question. We just sent that one out at that time. We have not sent a second one. We can prepare a second one if desired, or we can establish a frequency if desired by the board. And again, obviously including additional developments as they become officially annexed in and built out and established addresses for the residences. Does that answer? And additionally, as you mentioned, yes, in my staff report, I did mention the current units in the Hayward GAD, which are a total of 427 with this Hayward SOMI annexation. And then we can additionally to provide updates at the board meetings and the GAD manager update as that changes.
Thank you. So I agree that it's appropriate to send to new incoming GAD members, and then maybe biannually if my colleagues are comfortable with that. Thank you.
Okay. And new, I mean, you know, we've approved the addition with one property owner. But I think what you're wanting is that once those properties are sold to individual, that we should then issue another one so that they also have the same information. It was a nicely done brochure. And but when you said biannually, did you mean every 2 years?
No, every 6 months, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I would think once a year would be enough.
Yeah, I know there's a fee associated with sending it, but I'm fine with annually.
Okay, and you know, Ms. Ralston, does that sound reasonable to you too?
Yes, so just to confirm, you would like us to send a once annual newsletter to all the existing residences within the Hayward GAD?
Yes.
Sure can. And as additional developments come on. Yes, so currently,
Yes.
if we were to do one this year, they will be sent to the property owners within the reserve and hideaway development, but not Hayward Somi yet, as those residences have not been established yet.
Yes.
Yep, sounds great.
All right. Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing no hands up. Are there any GAD board member reports, referrals, or future agenda items? I think we kind of just went over some of that, but seeing no hands raised, we can go ahead and adjourn. I will note that we don't currently have any future meetings of the GAD board scheduled. And I think these will occur as needed. Ms. Ralston, do you have any thing to add to that, or?
Yes, I can add that we will bring the annual budget back before the board for fiscal year 22-23, and that will likely be scheduled for May, maybe late May to early June.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, with that, I think that we are ready to adjourn the meeting of the Geologic Hazard Abatement District Board. Thank you very much, Ms. Ralston and Ms. Morrison, for joining us this evening. And we will now move on to the regular council meeting. We look forward to seeing you in the spring when you come back with the budget.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chair and board members.
Okay. So now we are going to move on to our regular council meeting. And I will, so first is announcements on our closed sessions that we've had since our last regular council meeting. And I will note that the council met in closed session on March 1st regarding the annual evaluation of our city clerk, and we took no reportable action. We met again on March 8th in closed session for the annual evaluation of our city attorney. And again, we took no reportable action. And I will turn it over to our city attorney, Mr. Lawson, to report on the closed session this evening. Or
Greetings, Mayor and Council. Thank you for making those reports for March 1st and March 8th. Today, the council convened at 4:30 in closed session pursuant to posted notice. And with all members present, the council did two things. One, the council conducted an appeal hearing regarding the matter of the reinstatement of Brian Rankin. The council heard presentations and argument from the parties, and after deliberation, the council moved, seconded, and carried, with Mayor Halliday making the motion and Councilmember Zermeño seconding the motion, 6-0, with Councilmember Wahab abstaining, to deny the appeal and adopt closed session resolution number 22-001. Secondly, the council discussed Route 238, Parcel Group 5, and took no reportable action. The closed session adjourned at 6:40 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you for that. And I don't see any hands raised for questions about any of that. So we will now move on to, we do have a couple of special presentations this evening. And the first is to proclaim the first Monday in March, COVID-19 Victims and Survivors Memorial Day. So I will go ahead and read the proclamation. Whereas the first Monday in March has been designated as COVID-19 Victims and Survivors Memorial Day, and whereas COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2 is an illness caused by a virus that can transmit from person to person and has spread across the world, creating a global pandemic and having catastrophic effects on human life, our community, and our economy. And whereas school districts, teachers, students, and parents are grappling with the challenges of distance learning and working to prevent any potential learning loss due to not being in person, and local and state governments, such as ours, health departments, and public servants have taken bold actions to protect residents, support struggling local economies, and find innovative ways to provide public services. Whereas in response to rapid spread of COVID-19 and stay-at-home orders, essential workers have stepped up to provide critical services and to help protect our communities and save lives, sacrificing their own health and safety. And whereas COVID-19 has a disproportionate impact on low-income communities and communities of color, exacerbating the inequities already prevalent in our systems. And whereas more than 6 million people worldwide and 955,958 that number has probably gone up, but people in the United States have lost their lives due to COVID-19. And in the city of Hayward alone, more than 270 lives have been lost to this deadly virus, whereas each life lost to COVID-19 mattered and leaves a hole in the hearts of loved ones, family members, and surrounding community. And whereas public health guidance and policies targeted at prevention, such as social distancing, wearing masks in public, and staying home to help mitigate the spread of COVID-19, prevent illness, and lessen the burden on individuals and society. Now, therefore, I, Barbara Halliday, Mayor of the City of Hayward, do hereby proclaim the first Monday in March 2022 as COVID-19 Victims and Survivors Memorial Day in remembrance of those marked by COVID-19, those who have lost their lives, and in honor of those who continue to suffer from the impact of the virus. And we have with us this evening Ms. Kirsten Orquiza, and from the organization Marked by COVID, to accept this proclamation, which will be sent in its real form, but I have a copy of it here. So Ms. Orquiza, are you with us? And
yes.
Yes, thank you.
So Kristen had a last minute emergency, so she wasn't unable to make it, and she apologizes. My name is Munib Khan, and I've been a policy advisor at Marked by COVID since summer 2020 when it was created. Kristen created the organization after the death of her father due to the loose restrictions in the state of Arizona, and she wanted to raise awareness and keep the memories of those that passed away from COVID to never forget. So I appreciate Nora bringing this issue to the city of Hayward and to the city council. And I also, on behalf of Marked by COVID, appreciate the city of Hayward recognizing the first Monday of each March as COVID Memorial Day. And we hope that more cities in California and around the United States follow the city of Hayward's lead. So once again, thank you. And this important issue, we are still in a pandemic, and we should still learn our lessons and never forget those that passed away. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing this to us. It's a beautifully written proclamation, I think, and one that truly, I hope that we continue this. I think that all of us who are alive today will never forget this period in our lives, which we hope recede soon, but we know that it will leave lingering pain for the people who have suffered from this disease, and certainly for the loved ones of those who have been lost. So thank you so much for bringing this to us, and we will remember. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we're going to move on to our second proclamation this evening. And I'm going to ask Councilmember Wahab if she would, this is a proclamation in honor of Nowruz. I hope I said that correctly. The day of vernal equinox. And I believe we did observe this last year. So Councilmember Wahab.
Definitely. Thank you, Mayor. So I always preface this. This is basically the first day of spring. A good portion of communities across the world celebrate it. It is not a religious holiday. It is literally celebrating the first day of spring. Nowruz is typically on March 21st and celebrated by a wide variety of folks. And so I will read the proclamation as is, the City of Hayward proclamation. Whereas Nowruz, the day of vernal equinox, is celebrated as the beginning of the traditional new year by more than 300 million people around the world. And whereas Nowruz has been celebrated for over 3,000 years in the United States, Afghanistan, Albania, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Bangladesh, China, Georgia, India, Iran, Iraq, Israel, Kashmir, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Northern Cyprus, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan, Turkey, Turkmenistan, Ukraine, and Uzbekistan. Whereas Nowruz is celebrated by Americans of all backgrounds, including those with Baha'i, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Zoroastrian, and non-religious backgrounds. And whereas since 2010, the United Nations has designated March 21st as the International Day of Nowruz. And whereas Nowruz symbolizes a time of renewal, community, it harkens the departure from the trials and tribulations of the previous year and brings hope for the new year. And whereas Nowruz, as the embodiment of the unity of cultural heritage, centuries-long traditions, plays a significant role in strengthening the ties among people based on mutual respect and the ideals of peace and good neighborliness. And whereas Nowruz serves to remind the United States of the many lasting contributions of the Persian civilization to the world and the noteworthy impact of Afghan Americans to the social and economic fabric of society in the United States. And whereas the City of Hayward recognizes the cultural and historical significance of Nowruz, now therefore I, our Mayor Barbara Halliday, Mayor of the City of Hayward, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim March 21st as Nowruz Day in the City of Hayward and recognize the cultural and historical significance of Nowruz, express its appreciation for the contributions of Americans of many backgrounds to society in the United States in observance of Nowruz, and wish the people who observe the holiday a prosperous new year. In witness whereof I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Hayward to be affixed this day, the 15th day of March 2022, Mayor Barbara Halliday. I do appreciate this proclamation. I think that there are a number of cities that do this. I think in San Francisco, they have a huge celebration around this. I do have, I want to say Miss Nergis on the line as well, if she would like to say something. There were a number of individuals from the Afghan Coalition as well as community groups within Hayward that also wanted to speak on this, but due to the refugee crisis as well as some people being burnt out, they have been swamped and were not able to attend. But I think Nergis has some comments as well.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Councilmember Wahab and all the Hayward council members and mayor. This means a great deal to our communities. I'm extremely proud and very, very happy that the city of Hayward understands the importance of representation and acknowledges the diverse, beautiful communities that live here, including the Persian and Afghan communities. I want to give a very special shout out to Councilmember Wahab. You are a great role model for our communities, and you take a lot of pride in our rich, beautiful culture, which is wonderful to see, especially during these extremely difficult times. I won't take much of your time. I will leave everybody with a Nowruz greeting. It goes, Happy Nowruz, our new day. May you always be happier than Diroz, which is yesterday, luckier than Imroz, which is today, and blessed Aroz, which is every day. Thank you, and Nowruz Mubarak.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Council Member Wahab and Nurud?
Nurgis.
Nurgis, okay. So my apologies, but thank you for bringing this to us and for, educating us about this, which I think some of us, and like me, had not really known about before, but I do think that the vernal equinox, the spring equinox is something that we all kind of recognize. Actually, we kind of had it over the weekend when we switched time, something that happens at this time of year. I think we all appreciate spring with the coming of, warmer weather. And hopefully that doesn't hear me necessarily drier weather this year too, though. We're getting a little bit of rain this week, and that's good for the earth. But it is very much in our tradition and our values as a city of Hayward to learn about things that are done in other cultures and share them. And so I do very much appreciate you bringing this to us. Thank you. So with that, we're going to move on now to public comments for our regular city council meeting. And I do see another hand going up there. So I'm going to open public comments. This is for your opportunity to speak on items that are not otherwise on our agenda. You can speak on those items when we get to them on the agenda. But I see that we do have, a few hands here. So I can see, okay, the first speaker is TJ.
Hi, good evening, council members. I'm TJ with Hayward Concerned Citizens, and I wanted to speak to the recent statements our president made in his State of the Union address with regard to funding police. He shared his policies developed under the American Rescue Plan to invest in crime prevention and help cities hire additional community police officers to walk the streets, get to know their neighbors, and restore trust and safety. It includes plans to provide officers with the resources, training, and level of accountability needed to engage in effective community policing with the outcome of our neighborhoods feeling more secure and protected. I was impressed with Biden's message. Let's not abandon our streets or choose between safety and equal justice. There can be a balance where safety is concerned. $350 billion are coming out of Biden's plan to help cities, states, and counties hire more police and give them the resources they need. When you see those funds flow to Hayward, I hope that you will remember what they are earmarked for and not just place them in the general fund. We want and need our police. They're a vital part of this community, and they deserve to have all resources at their disposal to continue to do effective work, up to the down payment on a modern functional department building. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Colin Thormoto.
Hello, I assume everyone can hear me. My name is Colin Thormoto. I'm a community services commissioner, and my wife and I also send our children to Christina's daycare, who spoke earlier. We are also concerned about the traffic situation on both Whitman and between Cody and Custer Road, both because our 3-year-old daughter attends daycare there, and also because of the numerous children who walk along the streets along Whitman to get to Harder Elementary School. I also want to bring up that Christina has filed the appropriate paperwork as was requested by the city months ago, and nothing of substance has been done since then. And we would encourage the city council to investigate that matter further to implement some sort of traffic calming around that area, because it is a highly trafficked area that does not allow, that is constantly sped in and can be extremely dangerous for the numerous children who traffic that area on foot. So thank you very much for your time, and I yield the remainder of my time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Shane Gill. Oh, yeah.
Hi, can you hear me? Hi.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council members. Thank you, city staff, for allowing me to speak at this moment. My name is Shane Gill. I live in Hayward, 30230 Cedarbrook Road. I'm one of the applicants that applied for a cannabis license 4 years ago, and I was granted a distributor's license. It was a blessing for sure, and I really appreciate the opportunity. But like I said, it was 4 years ago, and we're still not up. We're still under construction. And when I looked around, there were about 16 applicants that were approved, and none of them are up at this moment. The only applicant that is up is a major corporate conglomerate called Cookies in downtown Hayward, as we've seen. And part of my concern is the taxes that the city has. I've detailed a lot of my concerns in an email, and I sent it to everybody. So basically, I wanted to have like some sort of meeting with city staff, city council members to kind of hear out our grievances or our issues, because I am aware that the city of Hayward is going to open up the process again for other applicants, and we have some suggestions that could make it, I guess, an easier transition. I also want to emphasize the community benefit program or fund. This is something that's been kind of in the gray space, and I think it's important for us to be treated like other businesses and also contribute to the community. I think there's a lot of stigmatization with a negative stigma with this cannabis community, and we kind of want to introduce ourselves as normal, hardworking people that are trying to contribute, and we need to have some of these honest discussions for this business and this industry to strive, because there's a lot of hardships, and I feel like it starts with communication. So I look forward for that opportunity. I know the city's swamped with a lot of other pertinent issues, but as we know, the state has allowed cannabis, and there's been some negative things attached to it. I also want to say that tomorrow in the New York Times, on the front page, one of my friends, Amber Center, a cannabis advocate, is highlighting some of the issues that small cannabis operators like ourselves in the state of California are dealing with, and everything that she talks about is something that Hayward should be aware of dealing with cannabis licensees. So I look forward to hearing from you guys via email. I look forward to speaking to staff, and if anyone can suggest something, I'm more than willing to to participate. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Allison Guerrero.
Hi there. My name is Allison Guerrero, and I am echoing and emphasizing Christina and Colin's comments about the traffic situation off Whitman and Cody within the Sublet cluster neighborhood. I am a resident on Sublet Drive with my husband and almost 3-year-old. And conveniently, we found Christina as a beloved daycare provider for our son. Since Harder Elementary School has opened recently, just the sheer traffic in the neighborhood has been out of control in an unsafe capacity for the neighborhood. Not only are the children walking on the street to school, but the amount of traffic via cars that are coming through is really, really concerning, and at speeds that are very unacceptable for a very small neighborhood. I am still in a work from home situation. I watch the streets as I'm on Zooms all day long, and it's just very unfortunate to see the disrespect of anybody coming in and out of the neighborhood that aren't actually residents of the neighborhood. And so I am really asking for your support and your attention to bring action of traffic calming solutions into this neighborhood. Granted, these streets are very narrow, and there's a lot of cars parked on the road. As children are going in and out, and if they dash out, nobody can see them because there's obstructions. And I just really am hoping for you to pay some attention to this area and help, especially with the elementary school being open. I think those parents as well would benefit from some solutions in mind here. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is, it looks like CJ Kearns. And that's the last hand raised from members of the public. So if you would like to make a public comment and haven't done so already, please put your hand up. But okay, but we'll go to CJ Kearns.
Hi there, my name is Caitlin Kearns. Again, just supporting the comments made by Colin, Christina, and Allison about the traffic and the heavy speeding in the Whitman, Custer, Cody neighborhood. I would think that given the addition of Harder Elementary, that there would have been kind of a natural response to how to attend to all of the enhanced traffic that it's brought. But it really is a dangerous situation. A lot of the cars in the neighborhood are parked on the streets, like many California neighborhoods. And so it makes for a really narrow space in addition to speeding cars, and it's extremely dangerous. Every morning we are dodging cars and kids. And so something is bound to happen. And I hope that we can find a solution here for the neighborhood, the school children, and to keep our daughter safe. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Next, we have Robert Davis.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Robert Davis, and I live here in Hayward, and I take my son to Christina's daycare. So I wanted to bring up the issue with the street racing, the burnouts, the cars passing us on Whitman. I asked, so it's a real big concern for all of us with all the children and Harder Elementary School opening again. I spoke with a couple of the city managers last fall about the situation, and they said that they would follow up and they put the car counter out there, but that was quickly cut up by some of the people who like to drive there, I'm assuming, and nothing has been done. I see smashed in cars out on the side of the road of Whitman. I saw a gentleman doing what looked like the nod for someone who's high on heroin. And then there's a lot of broken glass, car accidents all over the place, and it's just not safe. And I'm just wondering if the city council could do something, since there's an elementary school right there. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not seeing any other hands up among attendees, so I'm going to go ahead and close public comments. We are not supposed to extensively discuss, comments that have been made, but I think that the comments have been heard this evening. I'm going to go back. We have some comments from council members. Councilmember Marquez.
Thank you, Mayor. I do have a public comment, and it actually relates to many of the concerns shared by our community members tonight. But yesterday, I had the honor to sit in on behalf of our mayor for the policy committee for Alameda County Transportation Authority. So I just want to share with the public that that body is actually recommending that the entire body support a letter in regard to AB 2336 by Friedman. This is legislation, so that way we can actually get a pilot program for speed monitoring. There are major cities that have signed on for this legislation, but we are also gave direction that we want to ensure that any city that wants to participate in this legislation be given the opportunity. So I just want to assure the public that this is something we're very much aware of. Unfortunately, this isn't the only neighborhood being impacted. It is very concerning being so close to a school. And hopefully, if not later in the meeting, but by next week, the city manager can get back to the community members with respect to their petition. But just know that this body, as well as Alameda County Transportation Authority, is working really, really hard to bring solutions to address these concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Marquez, and thank you for representing me yesterday. But I can assure you that both as a member of the Alameda County Transportation Commission Board and also the Association of Bay Area Governments Board of Directors, both organizations are lobbying for that bill. It's not going to bring any quick solution for us because we're not one of the cities where the pilot program would take place, but it's something that in the future that could help. But I hope that the city staff, support your call for the city staff to look into these comments. And I would like to add, that they report back to us about the status. Councilmember Salinas.
Thank you. And I was going to make these comments at the end, but I'll make them at the front so that we can, get through the meeting. But over the weekend, I received a few emails regarding the Hayward City Council taking a position on Ukraine. And, per the council handbook, we have all agreed not to take positions on international affairs that don't necessarily directly impact the city of Hayward. And while, I'm not going to be, while I don't want to speak for my colleagues, but I think, all of us are just heartened by what is happening in Ukraine right now. The images that we are seeing on television and on social media are horrible. The negative impact it is having on families and on children. And I don't think any of us like to see such warlike environments abroad. And so I just wanted to let the folks who had emailed me to just let them know that we can't necessarily take an official position, but nonetheless, I think what is happening over there is horrendous and is absolutely horrible. And hopefully we can end war, what is happening out there soon, so that we can all live peacefully. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Salinas. And I could say that I'm pretty sure every other member of this council feels the same way. So thank you. All right, with that, I don't see any other.
Madam Mayor?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. And Councilmember, I'm sorry, Mayor Pro Tem Lambden, there wasn't anybody in the chambers that wanted to make a public comment, was there?
Actually, our city clerk does, and I think our city manager had a response.
Okay, but who was that who just spoke up? Was that?
So Miriam Lenz.
No, well, I'm sorry, what?
So Miriam Lenz, our city clerk, has a comment.
Oh, that's who just spoke. Okay, yes, okay. Madam City Clerk, please go ahead.
Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Good evening, Mayor, council members, city staff, and community members. It's good to be back here in the council chambers. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. It is that time of the year again when we are looking for youth commissioners. So can you see the flyer that I'm projecting right now? Well,
yes.
I think so. Perfect.
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much. So again, we are starting that process of the Hayward Youth Commission recruitment. Now, to qualify, students must be between 13 and 20 years old, and that's at the time of appointment. And they have to live in Hayward or within the boundaries of the Hayward Unified School District. Applicants under 18 years of age must have parental consent to participate in this commission. The applications are available online on the city website, also via my office, City Clerk's office, by calling 583-4400, or by scanning the flyer. As you could see, there is a QR code on our flyer, so individuals could scan that to apply online. Among the Youth Commission responsibilities, it is that of attending current meetings, which are currently via Zoom, and that is the first and third Monday of each month at 6:30 p.m. They are going to meet from September to June, and they are planning to work on special projects that address current youth issues. The deadline to apply is Friday, May 20th, and the interviews are currently scheduled for June 2nd. I want to take this opportunity to thank the Communications Division staff for the partnership and for helping us share the information via social media channels. I also want to acknowledge the subcommittee of the Hayward Youth Commission that helped in the review of recruitment materials this year. And they are also going to help us disseminate the information via social media. And last but not least, I'd like to thank Amber from my office, who's the lead on this recruitment this year. With that, we look forward to receiving applications from every Hayward school. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. I see from the picture that these members of the Youth Commission in the picture are holding what looks like Keep Hayward Clean and Green or Hayward Beautiful trash collection bags. Is that correct? Or,
yes, that's correct.
And I just wanted to point out that that is not all that the youth commissioners do, although I think they have volunteered for the cleanups and it's a great thing to do. But it is very much a commission where we, where issues that are important to youth are discussed and occasionally recommendations made to City Council on those discussions. So it's a good commission, and I would urge everyone who thinks they might be enjoy being a part of that to apply. Thank you for the announcement.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, and with that, we're going to move on to comments from our city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to I didn't have any comments this evening prior to public comments, but I just wanted to note that our Public Works Director, Alex Amiri, is on the Zoom call this evening and did hear all of the public comments. We will look into the traffic concerns and the reports from residents on the Custer and in that neighborhood and see what happened with those requests. I do know we still have several vacancies within the traffic engineering division, so there is a huge backlog in terms of resident concerns and complaints that we're trying to address. So we will work with Director Amiri to figure out where that particular concern lies and the status of it and get back to the residents who are on the line. So thank you very much.
I wish we could get to the people who are actually doing the, bad driving and speeding in a school area and just implore them to slow down and watch out. But I don't know that we can get it to all of them. They're probably not watching our meeting tonight. Okay, so moving on, we now have come to our consent calendar, which consists of items 1 through 10 this evening. Is there anyone from council who would like to pull one of these items off the agenda, off the consent calendar, and consider it separately? I'm not seeing any hands raised. Are there any members of the public who would like to comment on any of these items on the consent calendar? And again, I'm not seeing any hands raised, so I would entertain a motion from council.
So moved.
Okay. Council member Salinas has moved items, approval of staff recommendations on items 1 through 10. Is there a second?
Go ahead, Zermenio.
All right. I think I heard him seconded by Council member Zermenio. On the motion, Madam City Clerk, will you call the roll?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Councilmember Andrews. Is Councilmember Andrews?
Aye.
Yes, thank you. Councilmember Lamnin.
Aye.
Thank you. Councilmember Marquez.
Aye.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Wahab.
Yes.
Councilmember Cermeño.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Halliday.
Yes, and the motion carries with 7 aye votes. The motion made by Council member Salinas and seconded by Council member Cermeño. All right. That actually brings us now to council reports and announcements. And we'll go to Council member Andrews.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to remind everyone that we are going to have a Keep Hayward Clean and Green event on March 26th at Mount Eden Park from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. So look forward to seeing people out there.
What was that date again?
March 26th, Saturday, 8 a.m., 12 p.m.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
Will there be donuts as usual?
I'm sure there'll be something. I'll make sure something's out there.
You better be talking about edible donuts, not that other kind of donut that we don't want to have in the city. But I think you are talking about the edible ones, aren't you?
Yes, yes.
Okay, because there won't be any of the other kind, okay? Okay. All right, let's see, anyone else from the council? All right, seeing no hands up. In light of the comments made earlier by Councilmember Salinas, tonight we are going to adjourn this meeting in honor and memory of those who have been killed as a result of the brutal war that is being waged on the nation of Ukraine, and with our sympathy for all members of that nation or people who are there at the moment who are suffering as a result of the attack that is being made on that country. And so therefore, in memory of and honor of the lives lost and the suffering that is occurring in the nation of Ukraine, this meeting is adjourned.